Hi everyone, I'm Jay from IELTS Daily. I'm a teacher here, and today we're going to be looking at a few questions from the IELTS speaking test. So let's get this party started. So, more specifically, we're going to be looking at part 2 of the IELTS speaking exam, and I'm here with my colleague Chris.
Hey Jay.
Hey, how you going?
I'm well. Do you know what we're going to do today?
No.
I'm going to send you a picture from the IELTS speaking test. This is a recent question, and I'm going to send a question to your iPad, which you have, and you're going to try and answer this question just like the test. So you will have 1 minute to prepare your answer, and then I want you to speak for over 1 minute. In the test, lots of students get really nervous. Are you nervous?
Oh yeah, and I'm a native speaker.
So I'm going to send a picture to your iPad right now if you want to have a look at that question, and we'll look at that question together with students. So on the screen you will see the question, which is describe an interesting animal you saw. You should say which animal you saw, where you saw this animal, and why this animal was interesting. Finally, I'd like you to explain how you felt when you saw this animal. What I'd really like from you, Jay, if possible, when you're making your notes, could you maybe talk to the students about what you're planning to say? And then in the test, you can speak fluently. So just talk about your ideas and share your ideas while you're writing your notes.
Okay, sounds good.
So your 1 minute preparation time is about to begin. You can start now.
Okay, so the question is describe an interesting animal. So I have the animal in my head, and I'm writing that down right now. And then the next part of the question, it says, where did I see this animal? So I'm just trying to go through the prompts of the question to make sure that I'm covering all of those aspects of the question. So I'm going to write that down right now as well.
Mm-hmm. What particular animal are you thinking of talking about?
I'm talking about a manta ray.
Where did you see this animal?
I saw this animal in the northwest of Australia in a place called Ningaloo Reef.
How did you feel when you saw it?
Oh, amazing. Exhilarated. Very happy, but also scared at the beginning.
So it's important to tell a story in the test. So when you're talking to the examiner, try to tell a story wherever possible. Okay, so you've got about 5 seconds left, and if you can stop writing now. So in the test, you will have to speak for over 1 minute. Try to talk as much as possible. You don't have to cover all those parts if you don't want. Just try to tell a story. Are you ready, Jay?
Yes.
I'm going to be writing down some of the things that you say which are really great. So your 1 minute to 2 minutes starts now.
So the animal that I'm going to be talking about, or the animal that I really remember seeing, is called a manta ray. And a manta ray is a large pelagic seagoing creature that's related to the shark. And the reason it's related to the shark is because it has mostly cartilage in its skeleton. So we humans, we have bones, and sharks and rays have cartilage. So anyway, that was a little bit of a background on the animal. Where I saw this animal was in the northwest of Australia at a place called Ningaloo Reef. And this is a really beautiful location. I saw the animal when I went scuba diving, and it was probably in about probably about 10 meters of water. And when I first saw the animal, I was really, really scared because it's very big. It's about 4.5 meters across, and it's just which is a lot bigger than myself. And it was swimming towards me, and I saw it, and it was coming towards me, and at the last minute it kind of banked away from me, kind of like an airplane would. And I say this because in the water, these animals look like they're flying. They're very graceful. And so immediately my fear left me, and I had this feeling of exhilaration, and it was just amazing. And it kind of flew away from me and swam off into the sea, and I never saw it again. But the few seconds that I had really stands out in my memory, and it was just a really awesome experience.
Fantastic. That was 1 minute and 32 seconds. So you spoke for between 1 and 2 minutes, which is wonderful. Let's talk about some of the things that you spoke about.
Okay.
So you said that this animal is related to the shark. How would you express that in a different way?
I could use a very high, or I guess a more formal vocabulary word, and I could say it's akin to a shark, which has the
Similar
same
to.
meaning. It's similar to, yes.
Yeah, in the same family of, would you say? Maybe.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. It's in the same family as...
Yeah. You talked about bones and cartilage. These are anatomical words from the body.
Yeah.
Would you say that the nose is made of cartilage?
Yes, in
Yeah.
fact, we have, I believe, 2 locations in our body that still have cartilage. Our nose, the tips of our noses anyway, and also our ears are made of cartilage as well.
That's good vocabulary. I liked the way that you were telling a story to the students. You gave details about your time in the reef, which was really nice. Could you think about another few ways to say that you were scared? Just a few different pieces of vocabulary.
Yeah, I was frightened. Seeing the animal.
Terrified?
Yeah, I was terrified. It caused me to have some fear.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah.
You talked about this animal being 4.5 meters across, which is great language. You're describing the size of it. You told a story how it was swimming towards you. And I could picture it. I could see you in the reef and picturing this situation. And that's exactly what I want you to do during the test. You said it's kind of like. Kind of like is a way to say it's similar to again, right? It's more colloquial or spoken English, which is great. And finally, you said 2 new pieces of vocabulary, which were graceful and exhilarating. Graceful and exhilarating. Could you explain what the word graceful means?
Well, in my mind, graceful means, I guess, a very similar or a very basic word to describe grace would be smooth, or let me think.
Wonderful.
How else can you help me out here?
Sure. So it's not awkward.
Yeah. Not awkward, not clumsy.
Exactly.
Sure of itself.
Good.
Yeah.
And you said exhilarating. You know the idiom to take your breath away.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so it took your breath away.
Yeah.
You felt really, really, really like it was a magical experience.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. And a great way to describe it would be to say that it took my breath away.
Yeah. I really enjoyed your speech today, Jay. Thanks very much.
Hey, thank you, Chris.
What advice would you give to students during the test?
Look, I'm going to just try to speak freely here. I'm a native speaker, and doing this is not easy. You have to try to relax and just try to, as Chris mentioned earlier, tell a story. Pretend that you just have little kids around you, and you want to entertain them. And by telling them this story, it kind of puts some of that pressure away from you, or takes some of the pressure off of you. So I really hope you enjoyed watching this today, and I hope you really learned something. Thank you. We'll see you next time.